What is the obsession with barn finds? I don't know, but there is something magical about finding a bike and bringing it back to the world, bringing it back out of the darkness, brushing the dust off and making it live again. Now the last few barn finds we've done have been pretty cool. We did the British bikes in London, the Ariel and the BSA, and then the bonus BSA as well. And we did that K100 that we pulled out. That was quite a fascinating one because that was in a genuine barn and had an actual bird's nest in it. But from a rainy shed in Wales with a K100 that had a bird living in it, I think we've gone to the other end of the spectrum with this one. We have got a really exotic barn find in a pretty exotic place. We're in Madrid in Spain, or just outside Madrid in Spain, and underneath that building there is waiting probably one of the most exciting bikes I've uncovered in a long, long time. Come with us and find out. We've done quite a few barn finds now. I never, ever, ever get tired of the excitement when you're walking into somewhere, knowing you've come to get a bike and you're not really sure what you're going to find. Sometimes you're disappointed, sometimes you're really surprised, and sometimes it blows you away. I didn't expect to see this setup. It's like a super clean garage, but just not under blankets, not under cardboard, just tucked in the back of this garage is this. It's a Ducati 748 that a Bike World fan, actually someone I met in my previous life at BMW Off-Road Skills, kind of had this bike following them around for a good few years and has decided it needs to come back to life. It needs to be used, it needs to be ridden, and called us. And fast forward 100 emails and lots of planning. We're here in Madrid, and I'm going to pull the covers off this now. This is one we have been thinking about non-stop for the last 3 or 4 months, so I'm going to stop waffling and get the covers off. What? Look at that. Oh my gosh. That, you know, I said earlier about sometimes it's a shock and sometimes it's a good surprise. That is a good surprise. That is absolutely stunning. I kind of don't know what to say. It's just a beautiful bike. It's not everyone's default colours for a 748 either. Everyone loves the yellow and the red stuff, but you forget that Ducati made quite a few of these special editions, and this matte grey one with the red wheels looks absolutely incredible. And I know you can't see his face because he's the other side of the camera, but Bike World Al, the man who does all the filming and editing, this is like his kryptonite. This exact model, this exact colour is the bike that makes Al go weak at the knees. So we should be grateful that the camera's not wobbling too much right now. That is absolutely beautiful. Behind every bike like this, behind every stunning piece of rare exotica tucked in a garage somewhere, there's always a story. And sometimes those stories never get told, sometimes they just get lost and the bikes get forgotten. But we're really lucky today because the guy who owns this bike currently, Luigi, he's here. He's the one who called out us to come and do something with it. So I'm going to grab him on camera in a sec, having had another drool over this bike for a bit longer. And I'm just going to get the history and the story of this bike because it's fascinating how something this beautiful, this well looked after, has come to be here in the back of an underground garage somewhere outside Madrid. But for now, let's just have a moment of silence for how beautiful that bike is. Oh, I like this. So here to tell us the story of this incredible bike is the man who messaged us, Luigi.
Hey man,
Hey.
how's it going?
Obviously we've kitted up. we couldn't not bring you a load of Bike World kit, but
Appreciate it.
I mean, we were just literally joking off camera. You asked if we thought it was a scam when you messaged us, and we had to admit we did. You know, we couldn't really believe the story, and then obviously after speaking to you and hearing it, it's incredible. So first of all, that was your dad's bike, right?
Yeah.
And he got that as a road bike, track bike. What made your dad get it originally?
Yeah, good question. I think he bought that bike just to upset my mum, maybe.
That's always a good reason.
Yeah, no, he wanted something fun. He had a Triumph Bonneville as well, and he just felt like he needed a little bit of adrenaline, late in his 40s, 50, early 50. And he got that off of somebody that wasn't using it anymore, worked a little bit on it, got a few bits and pieces placed, and then, he was just having fun with it.
And you were telling us he would tell you when you were younger, don't ride this bike, it's too dangerous, it will kill you. Like, was that still his vibe with it?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, front ABS was becoming like a feature on all bikes, right?
Yeah.
But this one that didn't have any of it. So my dad was like, "Well, that bike doesn't have any electronics. It's too powerful. It's just gonna kill you. That thing is gonna kill you. Don't use it." But then he was talking about how much fun it was. So it was a little bit, yeah. But you telling me not to use it, and you having fun on it? What am I supposed to do with it? I don't know.
And so, I mean, he's kind of left that bike to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's the story there? I don't want to rub any raw nerves with
fine.
that stuff. That's obviously part of the emotion of the story, but
Indeed.
he kind of left it to you, and then it's followed you around. You've taken it wherever you've gone. Like, tell us the story about the bike since your dad passed. What's happened with the bike?
Yeah, so my dad passed and he left the two bikes, the Triumph and this one. We sold the Bonneville immediately because it was brand new. It had a couple of 100 miles on it, I think. And then this one, we moved it into a shed of one of my brother's friend. And it's been there until 2000, I'm going to lie now, but I think 2019, 2020, roughly, when I moved to London. I had the chance to have a garage, so I'm like, I remember there's the bike, my dad's bike, dying there. I'm going to take it home with me. So brought it home, brought it to London, clean it up, put it in the garage. And then when I moved to Spain, I did the same thing. Take it off the garage in London, brought it here, clean it up. It's still not doing anything. So it's still dying in here in a corner.
So originally you kind of grew up in Italy with it. So it started in Italy.
It started in Italy in Rome.
Moved out to the UK, via your brother's buddy's house to the UK.
Yeah.
And then back here to Spain. And then now we're going to take it back to the UK and bring it back to life. I'm going to ask you a difficult question. What stopped you riding it? I mean, you're lent on your own bike there, which I'm very jealous of. It's a Norden 901 Expedition, excellent taste. But I mean, is it just that you're not into the sports bike thing so much, or is there something that stopped you riding it or using it?
Well, I think, as a kid, when your dad tells you so much not to do something, then I kind of felt like, well, it isn't for me to ride, right? My dad wouldn't want me to ride it. And at the same time, I don't want it to not be ridden, if you know what I mean, right? So what am I supposed to do? Am I going to try and ride it, knowing that will upset my mom, surely, and my dad always told me not to do it. And so I thought, well, somebody has to do something with this bike. And then if you allow me saying, I met you back in 2018 in off-road schools, and then you started doing the barn find thing, and I thought, well, that's the guy that I think can ride this bike now and can take care of it. So that's when I got in touch with you guys.
Well, that's a really kind. That's an honor, to be honest. Like, no exaggeration. That's a really kind thing to hear. Look, it's a really cool story, and I love knowing the history and knowing that the bikes kind of had this emotional attachment, this journey. I waffle on about the emotional stuff with bikes a lot, but they are more than just tools. They are more than just machines. There's always a little bit of us inside them. So we've got a lot of work to do now with the transport stuff. So we're going to figure that stuff out, get it back to the UK. But yeah, I can 100% promise you it will be. There wouldn't be a 748 in one of our garages without being ridden. Like, it's going to be ridden and loved, and we'd love to invite you over to come and see it once it's done. So,
appreciate it.
Luigi, man,
thank you very much.
We need to go and get a cold beer and some food in the sunshine now,
because
we have come to Spain after all. But the next time you guys see that 748, it's going to be on the bench in Wales. I'm sorry about the weather. Yeah, we've got physically not too much to do, but mechanically there's a lot of work we want to go through. There's a lot of stuff we need to make sure is right. We're going to drag some of our Ducati expert friends in on that one as well. And yeah, bring this stunning bike back to former glory. In honour of Luigi's father, we will do a massive wheelie when it's finished.
Indeed.
Dude,
Thank you very much.